I think you might especially relate to this if you're a teacher, a boss, a parent, or anyone who is in a position to lead others. As a kids pastor, I have the privilege every Sunday and every Wednesday of leading an amazing team of volunteers who lead kids in a growing relationship with Jesus. I am convinced that we have an awesome group of kids, and when they're all together, it's like this ordinary room turns into this flood of potential and hope. The reason we meet is clear in my mind. It's not to babysit while grown-ups are doing the real spiritual stuff, no. And it's not just to show love to kids, although that's a huge part. But the reason we meet is to help kids get to know Jesus intimately, and then to equip them to make him known to others. We typically start off Wednesday nights with a game that introduces the theme in a fun way, and then there's worship and prayer, and then the lesson, and then we end with small group discussion. The last few months have been so cool. I felt as though we've had some real God moments where you could hear a pin drop when the lesson was being presented, and you just knew that kids were soaking it all in. I've actually been bragging to the lead pastor about it. But last Wednesday, however, something different happened. Before the 75 or so kindergarten through fifth graders flew into the room, I'm sure they congregated in a secret location and made a pact. We will not pay one bit of attention to what tonight's teacher says. In fact, we will deliberately do our own thing during the lesson. I think they did their secret handshake and promised to all steal candy and give it to the most self-focused kid at the end of the night. Well, they pulled off their plot without a flaw. And for the first time in 15 years of kids ministry, I found myself standing on stage feeling completely helpless, not knowing how to ring them back in. I tried all the common tricks that I had done before that resulted in success, but to no avail. My mind was going 100 miles a minute trying to come up with a solution, imagining how I could do an over-the-top, total angry blow-up since the lesson itself was about not losing control in your anger. Yeah, that would be the intentional illustration specific to the lesson that would get their attention. And then I thought, nah, that wouldn't be a good idea. It wasn't just two kids here or there and who were whispering conversations to each other while they thought I wasn't looking. No, a kindergarten boy and girl over here were in an all-out argument over a Lego or something, and groups of kids were holding full-volume, in-depth conversations while others had pulled out their iPads that they had previously been told to put away. It was a free-for-all, and I felt like I walked in on their party totally uninvited. As I drove home that night with my leadership tail between my legs, I replayed the tape and I asked, what just happened? Had I become too proud of my amazing speaking skills in the past few months that seemed to keep them completely engaged, and God was humbling me for not depending on him enough? Was it just one of those nights that couldn't be explained? My spiritual gift of overanalyzation was in full swing, and the question that I landed on was this. Do they really know what the purpose of our Wednesday night gathering is? Do they know? Are they crystal clear on the reason we're here? Is there a chance they are confused and wrongfully thought that this time was meant for them to do whatever they thought would be the most fun or the most fulfilling at the moment to them? You can be sure that this Wednesday they will be reminded of the purpose. But this got me to thinking about you and me, about us big kids, and not just about what is God's purpose for us on Wednesday nights, no, but what his purpose for our lives is. Over this past week, I've pictured him standing on stage in heaven, scratching his head as I was mine and asking, do they know what the purpose of their life is? Do they know? Are they crystal clear on the reason why we're here? Is there a chance they're confused and wrongfully thought this short time on earth was meant for them to do whatever they thought would be the most fun or the most fulfilling to them? I wonder how often he stands on stage with something to speak into my life that will be a huge blessing to me, something that will save me a whole lot of heartache, and something that will cause me to live a better story and transform the lives of those around me. But I completely miss it because I've got my own thing going on. How about you? Are you crystal clear on the reason we're here? On the reason you've been created and given this time on earth? How much stage time is God getting in your life? By that I mean, does he have your full attention? Here are 2 things I know for sure. Number 1, I easily get sidetracked. I could be excited and confident one day about his purpose for me, to know him and to make him known, and then get sidetracked into a million different directions that lure me away. And number 2, I know that I want God to have lots more stage time in my life. Time where he gets my full attention and devotion. Time where he can clearly speak his love and his plan into my life that I might follow it. Can you relate to this? Do you get sidetracked like I do? Do you want to have Jesus have lots more stage time in your life? Well, I think it boils down to this: remembering our purpose that comes from the one who created us for a purpose, and intentionally giving him time on stage, front and center, while we just listen. Below this video on my website, I have a few more thoughts about our purpose and his stage time. So go there and check it out and share with the rest of us about how you intentionally listen to him. Thanks so much, friends.